Good morning, good morning, good morning, and welcome to this week's edition of Monday Motivation. So, whereabouts in the world are you? Are you here in the UK? We've woken up to a very, very frosty morning and a few shenanigans with getting on the Wi-Fi. So I'm now in a place where I have got Wi-Fi. I'm looking at you, so thank you so much for joining me. If you haven't joined one of these Monday Motivations before, Monday Motivations were really designed to help you to kickstart your Monday morning, your day and your week. And for those of you who join me regularly, you'll know to say hello, jump on, say hi, let me know where you are. Let me know where in the world you are. Because I know that people look at these not only live but also on the replay. So do say hello. And if you know anybody who could do with a little bit of a boost on a Monday morning, a bit of motivation, a bit of get up and go, a bit of get going, start going, then please feel free to share this on your timeline or with your groups or whoever you think can really benefit from having a boost. So do forgive the shaky camera this morning. I have now put myself in a prime location, in a prime position to be able to stay connected with you. So Ivona says, morning Jenny, and I say, morning Ivona. I need to try and stop the camera from moving so much. So this morning I'm looking at you, and when I go like this, it's because I'm actually looking at my screen just to make sure I don't miss anybody's comments, but it seems like it's all well and good this morning, so that's great. Thank you for the thumbs up. So I have been up for a little while now, looking at all sorts of weird and wonderful things that you wouldn't believe in my day job as a visibility specialist, so helping people to stand out so that people can find you easily. But this morning I wanted to talk about a subject that's close not only to my heart, but I know that kind of affects a lot of people too, and that's overwhelm. Overwhelm is something that we don't choose for ourselves. We feel sometimes like it chooses us. So I have made a few notes. If you see me looking down, I'm just making sure that I haven't forgotten anything. And today's motivation is about how to avoid overwhelm, especially when you've got too much to do, because so many of us lead busy lives. We're parents, we're grandparents, we're business owners, we are, career orientated. In fact, some of you I know not only have a job, you have a business as well. There's a lot to do in a day, and often this impacts on what we feel is our ability to get stuff done. So this morning I'm going to be talking a little bit about how we can manage that overwhelm. So I can see that I'm streaming, which is great. Okay, so there's three main areas to focus on when you're looking at overwhelm. Okay, so there could be a gazillion places to focus, but as we're speaking about overwhelm, let's keep it short, simple and sweet, shall we? So the first thing that I find when people tell me that they've got too much to do or they're overwhelmed, they don't always even tell me that. They'll say, oh, I can't do something because. Hey Ali, hi, she says, morning everyone. Say morning back. Oops, I don't want to block your comments at all. I want to like your comment. So the first thing to think about is our focus. When we are overwhelmed, feeling overwhelmed or anything close to it, we tend to be focused in lots of different places. So can you for a minute think of something that you really want to get done? Think of something that maybe you feel you've procrastinated on just recently. Okay, now you've got that thought in your head. Think about where your focus has been. So this is interesting. We might be looking to, let me give you an example. I'm trying to think of a real life example I can use, because half of these tools and techniques I bring to you because they're things that I've tried and tested myself, and also have worked really well with my clients. So let's say, so I'm working on doing a piece of work at the moment. It's a piece of admin work, which I've done before actually. It's a nice free gift that someone can go along either to one of my Facebook pages or my groups or my website, and they will be able to put their email address in to get this really valuable piece of information sent to them, something that's going to really help them in terms of standing out and getting out there in the world. But that takes creation. And quite often, when we find that we're not getting something done because we feel like we've got too much to do, we're overwhelmed, we almost have that feeling of not knowing where to start. And that normally can be drilled down very quickly to where our focus is. What are we focusing on? What are we looking to do? Are we almost focused on getting the thing done that we're trying to do, or are we focused on other things? So let me give you an example. So in preparing this bit of information that needs to go out or needs to get done, people often tell you things like, switch off Facebook, put your phone on flight safe mode, which are all very useful and handy and helpful and all of that kind of stuff too. But the focus needs to be on what you're doing. Now this is going to sound really so simplistically easy and simple. You're going to think, Jenny, really? But here's what I see people doing. They know what they want to do, and rather than start to put their focus on building it, step by step by step. If you think about climbing a mountain, you don't just take one great big leap and you're from the bottom to the top. There's lots of series of steps. Sometimes there's obstacles, sometimes there's challenges in the way. So it's about putting one foot in front of the other, and your focus should only be on where you put your foot next. And then after that. And then once you've done that next step, where do you put your foot after that? Literally, there's this focus, almost like you're looking down on what you're doing next. What I see people do is they're focused on the one foot in front of the other, and then they look around at their fellow climbers. Oh, what are they doing? Oh, they seem to be going a bit faster than me. Or they seem to have a different type of style of step. Or, last time I did this is the one that I fall into. The last time I did this thing, I did it differently, better, whatever. So then they start to think, they start to reflect back. Well, when I did it before, I did this, I did that. And before you know it, you're standing still. You're not even taking a step anywhere. And if you're going to drive a car, you can drive in all sorts of directions, but you can't drive if the engine's not switched on, if the handbrake's still on, or if you're not in motion. So here's the thing about overwhelm. When you feel like there's too much to do, then keep in motion. Keep in motion, okay? So the first step of avoiding overwhelm is to focus on what you're doing and think of that analogy step by step by step, okay? Ivona says distraction and comparison, absolutely. They are massive, massive killers. And it's funny because for those of you in the Visibility Vibes Tribe group, you'll know that last night I jumped on to do a Facebook Live to answer someone's question. And as I was answering their question, I was scrabbling around for a quote that I'd seen, and I couldn't find it anywhere. I'd actually written it down on a lovely card, and I'll share it with you again as well, because here's what I see people doing. In terms of distraction and comparison, as Ivona quite rightly says, there was a quote that I saw that really, really jumped out at me, and it was this: never destroy your own gift because you covet someone else's. And actually, when we're doing the whole comparisonitis, as I call it, that's exactly what we're unwittingly doing. We're coveting what somebody else has got, and that, oops, I nearly dropped my phone then, and that is where we take the focus off what we're doing. So whatever it is you're doing today, the hardest thing is going to be to remember that. So just write step by step. And for those of you who frequently join this page or even my other page, the Queen of Being Seen page, let me know when you've done the first step by step. Just type on my wall, "Hi Jenny, step by step." Let's keep each other accountable. Don't do it every 15 minutes because that could be a distraction in itself. So that's the first point, focus. The next point is the framework. And the framework is almost like making a plan. Now, what I like about frameworks is that a framework allows for flexibility for you as a person, who you are, how you work in your business, or whichever way you prefer to be. And sometimes people think, if I make a plan, it's set in stone, it's too rigid, I can't do this, I can't do that, I won't like it, etc., etc., etc. When actually the truth of the matter is that when you have a framework, it means that you've got something to enable those step by step by steps. How do you know which next step you're going to take if you haven't got a plan? I normally say write it down, because the thing I find with Overwhelm is we have a plan, we know exactly what we want to do, but it's in our head. Hi France Lees. France Lees joins and says good morning. So France Lees, you're in good company, and we've got some people that are watching. I don't know who they are, so if you're watching this and you want to say hello, then type in the box. If you don't, that's fine for you to watch too. But France Lees, we've got the lovely Ivona, we've got the lovely Ali on, and I know that Alan is on holiday, so I expect to see some comments once he's caught up with this later on. So think about how can you put those step by step together. Well, the best way to do is to have a plan. It's almost like back in the day of, you know, forget even the sat nav analogy, the map. When you are going somewhere, hey, Moira says, good morning everyone. Hi Moira, thanks for joining us, especially so early on this cold and frosty morning if you're anywhere like a lot of the UK. So I'm going to have to wipe my nose. Not a good look on camera. So if you are planning your next step, your focus step, the best way to do it is to have a framework. Get the map out, have a look at the destination that you're heading towards, and here's my philosophy on this. People often say they have to go in a straight line. Not true. There is no such thing as a wrong turn. You experiment, you recalibrate, you go back to the path maybe that you'd first chosen, you maybe go off the path, deviate, sightsee or whatever else, but there is no such thing as a wrong turn. As long as you're heading in the direction that you have been plugging away at, step by step by step, you're all good. Don't worry about what anyone else is doing. Don't worry about other people telling you that you have to do it this way or you should do it that way. That's normally based on their own experience of how something has worked for them. So part one is focus. Keep focused. Keep going for your step by step by step. And step two then is framework. Make a plan. Now, the thing that I find in terms of visibility and helping people to stand out whilst they're getting out there, and also in terms of, I'm thinking to some of my sounding board clients who are, you know, they're on a mission, they're really ambitious, they want to get things done, they want to run stuff by somebody who gets it and can give them an objective opinion or experience. And one of the things, oops, my thing's switching off, and one of the things that people resist the most is making a plan because they think it feels too rigid, when in fact, as I say, the framework of that allows you to move forward. And this is something that in the visibility vibe system that you hear me talk about a lot. It's an integral part of the fourth step. It's about putting your plan down, and I know that some of you on the call have had experience of this. Good old-fashioned writing it down where you can see it. I've got some templates that I share in there which helps people to plan out their week and helps them to look at one task, put the tasks in there, but before they've even done that, put the other things in life, like, you know, housework, or going to pick the kids up from school, or your weekly yoga classes, or having time to relax, or when you're going to work, you know, all sorts of things like that. When you've decided you're not going to work, all sorts of things like that. And by plugging those big pieces in first and then putting in time around it, you get to see where you've got time, where you don't have time, what you can commit to, what you can't commit to. This is something that is gold dust, because no matter how busy you are, all of a sudden you find that you have time to do the things that you do, and you don't make time to do those things that you actually don't have to do, don't need to do, and have just put in your path. So Ivona says, yes, a framework will definitely help me today. Absolutely. France Lee says, thanks Jenny, that's so important. Thank you, France Lee. It so is. I know, France Lee, you've had experience of the putting the framework in place. And I would say any time for any of you that you feel overwhelmed, pop your framework back in place. And here's the thing, if it's not working for you, you either need to step it up, revisit it, or get some outside help. It's a bit like cutting your hair. It's all well and good, you can see what you're doing, snip, 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 and then you get to that bit at the back that you just can't reach or just can't see. So much better when you have somebody else working alongside with you to help you with that.
And then the third thing around avoiding overwhelm, especially when you've got too much to do, is this: frame. Frame your day. And funnily enough, as I was writing this a few days ago, I noticed focus, framework, and frame all begin with F. Slightly coincidental, not quite sure why, but frame. And that is frame your day. Here's what I mean by this. Part of the reason that I even started doing these Monday motivations back in 2008 was that somewhere along the line, I didn't have the words for this, I didn't articulate it in this way. I knew that people needed like something to hang their day on, a way to prepare for their day, even though they didn't know what's coming. Does that resonate with you? If it does, give me a love heart across the screen. Let's see some red across the screen now. We've seen lots of lovely blue thumb marks, so thank you. But just put a love heart across the screen so that I can see that, because one of the things that I couldn't articulate at that time in 2008 was that we definitely go through life not knowing what's coming next, not knowing what conversations we're going to have, what challenges we're going to face. We might get up and think, oh, today's going to be a very busy day, but we don't always know exactly how that's going to affect us, what that's going to do for us. And when we come across a day where everything seems to appearingly go out of sorts or go wrong, what have we done to frame our day? Now, there's a couple of different ways you can do this, and pick whichever one feels great for you. But one of the ways that you can frame your day is to find what I call your inner sanctuary. Deep down inside, you've got a place where you make really sensible decisions. You have this innate wisdom, almost to the point where you think, gosh, where did that come from? It's the innate wisdom that makes you stand back from an interaction that's going on and say, do you know what? I'm not going to be part of this. I'm going to choose my battles today, and this is not going to be one of them. It's innate wisdom when you're feeling quite crushed or maybe emotional, and there's a little voice inside of you that says, come on, you can do this. How do you frame your day? Well, my recommendation is for those of you that meditate perhaps, or can get quiet in some way, whether it's like prayer or whether it's meditation, whether it's exercise, it's maybe going for a walk or something else like that. Find that place. Finding your inner sanctuary. I was looking up the meaning of sanctuary, and the original word came from a place in a church where somebody used to go, which meant they were immune from getting into trouble or getting attacked or getting taken or anything else like that. So if you start your day, like for some of you, it could be that you start off with meditation. For me, meditation is one of my favourite things, and boy, oh boy, oh boy, do I know when I don't do it. I either feel in a funk. If I don't feel in a funk, I have one thing to do, and I get to the end of the day and I've still got that one thing to do. I feel really scattered. I feel a bit octopus on roller skates, all over the place. So get into a practice, and some people tell me, oh yeah, Jenny, I meditate. I do it last thing at night before I go to bed. My honest thought on that is, if you let your day run away with you and allow everything to happen in the day, you don't frame your day for the success that you want, for the peace that you want. You don't create that inner sanctuary. So it's like Ilyana Van Sant talks about the place between your wings. That really calm place makes me want to close my eyes and just be in that lovely calm place. Some people call it a good feeling place. If you don't meditate, can't meditate, won't meditate, you can think about somewhere you've been to. Maybe it's a beautiful beach. Maybe it's you've seen a gorgeous sunset. Maybe it's your kids playing in the garden. It could even be, time that you spent with friends where you just felt really yummy and really juicy. Take some time to sit in that spot. This completely frames your day. And once you've framed your day, you're really ready to take on anything. And it means that as the day goes on and as stuff goes by, you've got a point of reference that you can go back to that good feeling place. Does that make sense? Let me know in the comments below how you frame your day, how you have that good feeling day. And let me know if you've got any other ways that you've avoided overwhelm in the past that have been really helpful. Now, know that any comments that you put on this page as a public page can be seen by anybody. But if you want somewhere a little more private to go to, then why not search for the Visibility Vibes Tribe group here on Facebook, where the only people that get to see your comments are the 380 plus other people that are in that group. Why not share with them your wins when it comes to Overwhelm, how you calm your day, because today is Monday Motivation after all, and it's not just about me motivating you, it's about you guys being able to motivate each other and ultimately yourselves. So if you're looking for that group and you're new to that group, just go to facebook.com/groups/be seen, be heard, get visible. Come and click and join us. And if you are struggling at any point, this is another thing that people don't often do. They don't reach out. People are scared to show their vulnerabilities. But you know what? If you're having one of those days and you're struggling, then by all means, go into the group and say, hey guys, I'm stuck with this. Anyone help? I often jump in and answer those questions. And there's lots of other juicy vibers that will answer them too. So thank you so much for joining me on this Monday Motivation. What did you get most from this? It doesn't matter if you've heard it before. What are you going to do that's new and in a different way? What is going to propel you forward on this Monday? And I want you to pick just one thing. If you've had a lot of reminders of great things that you've done before, that's great. But just pick the one thing that's going to make the biggest difference to your day and to keep you out of overwhelm for this morning, this day, or this week. Let me know in the comments below. And for those of you that follow my work and look for or look at other things that I do, I'll be over on my other page, the Queen of Being Seen page, tonight at 7 p.m. UK time, or GMT, where I will be sharing a lovely tip with how you can get out there and stay out there and be visible instead of invisible in your life, in your business, in your work. So France Lee says, planning the week definitely helped me and praying helped. Not letting an incident, especially with the kids, amplify. Absolutely, it sets you up for the day, France Lees. Really want to hear about you putting that practice back in place and how that works for you. So let us know in the group. And Ivona says her thing is focus, focus, focus. Okay, so let me share what mine is. There is something that I really want to get done. I really want to get done because I know it's going to help so many people. I know it's going to be really beneficial to them. So today my focus is going to be on that. I've got a couple of client calls and then I've carved out like 4 hours of time where I am going to focus. I'm going to take breaks in between. I'm not going to sit in front of my computer all the time, but I've actually structured what I'm going to do and how I'm going to do it, and nothing else will get done in that time. Okay, so Ivona says the one thing for her today is not letting people should be my reality. Absolutely. Ali's saying one thing at a time. Absolutely. And here's the thing, when you've got a lot of stuff to do, I've done this before where I've got like 2 or 3 things, so I work on all of them at the go. After all, isn't that multitasking? Well, what happens is you have 3 things that don't get done. Whereas if you say to yourself, I'm just going to finish this one thing. So like I did a free gift that I put in the Vibes Tribe actually in August, I think it was, a 1-pager of the 5 most key steps that you can get out there. And when I created that, I would walk over, sit in Greenwich Park, in a nice bandstand in Greenwich Park, pen and paper and no computer, just sit there and draw out what I wanted to do. Only once I'd drawn it out, only once I'd put everything in place, did I then attempt to go back and do it in front of the computer. I was tempted to do 101 other things in between, but I decided to focus, head down focus, step by step by step. I knew what my plan was, I knew what I had to do, and only once that was finished did I move on to the next thing. I surprised myself by how quickly I got that finished and how thoroughly I got it finished. I didn't have the energy of it hanging around in my head, wondering whether I should go back to it, improve it. You know that thing where you're working on something and although you finished it, it doesn't feel quite finished, so it takes up headspace. Didn't have that at all. So anyway, I think that's enough for now. You're all very busy people, so let me know how you get on. Look forward to seeing some of you later on this evening over on the Queen of Being Seen page and saying hello to you and finding out how you're doing over in the Visibility Vibes Tribe group. Thank you so much for joining me. And I look forward to hearing about your successes and your wins over in that group too. Thank you so much. Bye for now.